Well, good afternoon and welcome to the 5,758th meeting of the Rotary Club of Chicago. I'll call this meeting to order. My name is Nancy Couchbrenner and I'm the president of the club. And a couple things that we usually, I'm getting notes on my, okay, if it comes up again. As many people already know, the most fun thing for me is this technology. Just kidding. But I like to start out the meeting with Thought for the Day and Chicago Trivia. And they're kind of, they're tied in today because we are in the dog days of August right now. And there's a quote from a book, Tuck Everlasting. August hangs at the very top of summer, the top of the livelong year, like the highest seat of a Ferris wheel when it pauses in its turning. The weeks that come before are only a climb from balmy spring, and those that follow a drop to the chill of autumn. I'm really looking forward to that chill. So that brings me to the Chicago trivia question for today. So the Ferris wheel, how perfect, invented in Chicago by George Ferris. The first one was at the World's Fair of 1893. So does anybody know or have a guess on how many people that original Ferris wheel accommodated? Guesses? I hear 300. Any other guesses? 10? The whole Ferris wheel, the whole thing. Yeah. Well, that's about right, actually, Mark, because the original one was 264 feet high. It held 60 people per car. Yeah, they were like giant buses. And there were 36 cars, 2,160 people. And it went for 20 minutes. So just to compare, the current one at Navy Pier is 196, much smaller, 42 cars holding 10 people. 420 people goes 7 minutes. So I don't know who was the highest number. You can get the prize today. Okay, 300. Okay. So we have, yeah, let's see. Okay, now I gotta. So a few announcements while you eat. Please do continue eating your lunch there. So many of you might have noticed that you got hopefully, you got a postcard like snail mail from me in the mail, hopefully this past week. So just a reminder, everybody in our club of just under 100 people also got this postcard because our goal this year is to really encourage involvement and engagement in the club. And with that in mind, we will be looking for people to be greeters at our meetings, to do the thought for the day at our meet. No, you can take that, TR, you can take that purse off. That's, I don't need to sit there. I don't need to sit there. And we also have coming up, speaking of it being engaged, we have next week will be a lot. We have an open house. My husband and I are hosting a happy hour at Marshall's Landing, which is a fun bar in a great location on the river in the Merchandise Mart. So please do, that's my husband and I are hosting open bar, come on. So, but please do try to click on and sign up for that so that we have some idea of numbers. That's Monday the 18th. And coming up, our next meeting then is that Tuesday. But we also have coming up on Friday, August 22nd. It's a big week. That's the White Sox game. And my understanding, our district governor, Bonnie, may throw out the first pitch But it's my understanding if we don't have good numbers, she doesn't get to throw out the first pitch. So, we want to be able to see that. I want to be able to see it. Uh, we also have a board retreat coming up on the 24th. Yeah, you can move that person. It's fine. And then we also have another social event. We're trying to work on, really opportunities for us to get together and do social things around the city. So some of us will be going to the Millennium Park concert that day. We will be it's a bring your own everything, chairs, blankets, and some of us will try to establish a spot back in the corner. And I'll have a yellow umbrella so you can look for us, have my phone number if you want to text. But we're just going to that. Just know that these Millennium Park events are getting, they're very full. Last night, the Broadway in Chicago was a long line to get in. So some of us will try to go early and establish a spot if you can join us there. And we will have a little bit more discussion on job one when we have our speaker. But right now, please enjoy your lunch. And then Alita and I will come back up to talk about job one and introduce our speakers. So enjoy lunch. Good afternoon again. I welcome you to continue enjoying the lunch, and I'm going to ask Alita to come up here, and she's going to chat about job one and then introduce our speaker. Can we do that together? Okay. Why not? I'm looking at efficiencies. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Okay, you all know better from Sarah. Hello, everybody. Thank you. Today we're going to recognize our wonderful Job 1 students. For those who don't know, Job One is our signature program in which we recruit Chicago high school juniors and seniors to come, and we give them job training and job etiquette and everything like that, resume building, interview skills. And then we pair them up with the the employers that we have recruited to hire them for the summer. And more into a mentorship type of situation than just a job, because they're learning how to work in corporate, and we want them to understand how all the different facets of working in a business or owning a business. So this year, we had two amazing students. I will let you all take a cup of water because you're getting ready to come up. We had Mary Brady. Oh, okay. Is she at the end? Yeah. Did we get the pictures here? Oh, okay. No, they have pictures. It's fine. Mary Brady. She is a rising senior at St. Ignatius High School, and she is looking to go into finance. So anyone who would like to, you know, reach out to her, let them come work in your accounting department or something like that, that would be great. And our second one was Jose Lopez. So those are my amazing interns this summer, and they were great, and they're getting me on a path to a social media marketing campaign.
Where's Jose from?
I'm sorry, Jose is a rising senior from Whitney Young High School, who is also interested in finance and management. So just point it out. Yes, Sarah. With me. They both had different schedules, and so the randomness of my work fit their schedules. So there it is. And they were great. They came to different events with us and took pictures. They were in the kitchen taking pictures, and they're helping me do all of that for social media. And then they were also were great going to other events with me. So there's that. Once again, congratulations, guys, on a very successful summer. Ismael is a friend of mine, and I'm very proud to introduce him. I am not going to read his bio. So me and Ish went through the Chicago Urban League Next One program together, in which it was an awesome program, and we all got to learn about each other's businesses. And then he told us about this great business he is launching, or has launched, his Piggyback Network. It's an awesome idea, and I think you will all be intrigued by it. And also, Ish is just such a great speaker and a great dad, coach, and volunteers at multiple schools. So without ado, Ismael.
Technical support. Rely on very much. Thank you, Allison.
While they're setting that up, I was also an intern for Loquacious. Alita, he sent me on the run to get some cups one morning, coffee cups for an event. It was an unpaid 20-minute adventure, but I know I don't want to be in that space. She does amazing things. All right, so I know this is difficult while everyone's eating. I wanted to start with an exercise. The people that are directly left and right from you guys, I want to see if it's possible that you can find out from the person you're sitting next to, could you have gotten a ride here today to lunch, to this meeting? Were you all coming from the same place? Could you have gotten a ride? Take your time, discuss it out. All right, I forgot how Rotarians can talk. All right, I got to time box this. I got to time box this. Rotarians can have conversations. All right, show of hands, how many people found someone that they would have been able to get a ride here with to this meeting? All right, all right, about 5 people. So that's about standard. So, I want to take you through a journey. Lita mentioned that I am a parent. We have 4 children, and the start of school is coming up. My 4 children do not go to neighborhood schools. My wife and I drive about 5 hours every day from Beverly, dropping them off, picking them up, taking them to school, after school activities, everything that involves being a parent. And I want to walk you through our journey and what we're doing to help millions of parents with that same issue. All right. So my name is Ismael El-Amin. I'm the founder and CEO of the Piggyback Network. And to kind of walk you through what we're building, I want to start with some stats. How do I advance? Let's see. Okay, here we go. I got it. It's the arrows. All right. So we'll talk about the problem that myself, hundreds of thousands of Chicago parents, and 53 million parents across the United States are facing, and that's youth in transit. You've read about school buses, you've read about some of the schools changing their district rules and their district lines, you've read about some of the lack of flexibility and some of the options that parents have. So we're actually doing some digging by the numbers, and about 43 billion of miles are traveled getting American youth to school, after school activities every year, and that's creating a ton of CO2, tailpipe emissions, doing all types of things to the environment. 50% of these drives are happening between 2 miles and 3.5 miles. These aren't long trips at all, but parents need to get out, get in their car, put their child in their car, get them to school back and forth. And then another third of these, 36%, are school bus rides. We're not going to do anything about the school bus industry. It's helping millions of parents. But those rides, there's not always efficiency. There's not always the best use of time, of resources. And we're taking a look at how we might be able to disrupt that in a positive fashion. Lack of flexibility. When surveyed, 78% of parents say they're not satisfied with the drop-off and pickup situations that they have at their children's schools, after-school programs. So we started with that concept about 7 years ago as the idea kind of originated. And we decided we'd do something to help. And in that, we created a platform where parents, everyday parents that are driving to school, driving to these sports activities, they can be a resource to one another for the families that might need help with carpool. And to do that, we built a platform. That platform is a peer-to-peer carpool platform. So you're only being matched with other parents that are already driving your way, or you can offer to be a parent that's driving someone else's way, and you guys could be matched. It's designed for busy families, multiple children, those that are locked into a job where they have to be on site, first responders, think teachers, think people that work out of hospitals. It's designed for traveling parents. It's designed for the parents who may not live near grandma and grandpa, and they don't have that option to reach up to the next generation. We advertise it as safe, as flexible, as reliable. All of the parents doing the driving have children themselves already going to that school or that after school activity. So we wanted to make sure people knew this is not an Uber for children. This is not hired drivers. This is not, we're going to have someone who's making themselves available with a van that's got a 25-person capacity. We'll squeeze 30 children in there. This is not that. We like to think of it as a marriage between an Airbnb, an eHarmony, and an Uber. So at the Airbnb side, this is a parent that's saying, I drive every day, this 3-row SUV, I've got 3 or 4 extra seats in the car. I can actually pick up someone else because I've got capacity to do so, as long as it's along my way. eHarmony side of it, We're matching people not only on their driving routes, but they meet in person to screen one another. You meet the person that you're matched with, and you're going to be able to say, oh, yeah, I like this person. Or, you know, I don't really vibe with them. I saw the way that they treat their own child. I saw the way that they test drove. I didn't like the music selection. When I described my own child, their eyes got big, and I was like, I don't want my child in the car with this person. We have to make sure that they're a fit. And then the scheduling side of it, we designed a schedule that's flexible. The requesting member can say, hey, do you want to ride? The offering member can say, that doesn't work for me. I'm in court that day, or I'm traveling that day. Something's not going to allow me to do that. So we made it flexible, keeping it safe because these are reliable parents that are doing the driving themselves. And we made it affordable. It's about 1/3 the cost of an Uber ride. We get a lot of questions, are you sure there's a need for this? And one of the first answers I say is, when I speak to people whose children are grown and out of the house, the first thing I hear, like Nancy just said, where were you when my children were younger? Because we needed this so bad. Everyone finds a way to make it work. I found a way. I would leave work early, tell my bosses, hey, I've got to take a meeting. Run out of the office, go pick up my child, drop her off at dance, and pop back up at the office like nothing happened. That's not ideal. That's not recommended for everybody. But sometimes that's how people have to get it done. I've got a quote here from a friend I just recently made. Her children are out of house. She's got close to grandparent age. Her children are out of the house. And she talked about the advantage that she would have had if this service was around. She's becoming one of my biggest recent advocates. She lives in an apartment building with 500 other tenants, and she's promoting it to everyone with people of children age. We started age 6 months. We go up to age 18 months as far as our insurance coverage, and we're trying to make it just bearable for parents who are trying to not rip their heads out there. So when she spoke to me about what she could do, about how she could promote, she started putting me into her family groups. She started talking about all of the different people that are saying, hey, school year's about to start. Public school starts next week. I've got no remedy. I've got to get out of this parking lot, which takes 10 minutes. And then we hit these roads, and then it takes 12 minutes to make the left on Larrabee and all these different things. And I'm like, y'all ever thought about carpool? They run into these same families in the hallways and in the elevators, but no one ever thinks our children are going to the same school. Why do we take them in one car each? It just doesn't dawn on people that this could be a solution. Talk about my origin and how I got to the platform. So, Chicago native, was born here, raised on the South Side. And at the time, I was going to selective enrollment school. My school bus would drop me off at home, and then I had to get on the CTA to ride another 40 minutes to football practice. 6th grade, taking a bus by myself. It wasn't so unheard of back then. I'd get to football practice about 30 minutes late every day, and the team would already be on the field doing the calisthenics, starting practice. The football coach asked my parents, is there any way Ish can get there on time because we want to make him a captain this year? They were raising my 4 siblings. They each worked. They had other responsibilities. They said the bus is the only option. One of my coaches said, I actually know where you guys live, and I live near you guys. Is it okay if I pick Ish up and bring him to practice when I come? I didn't know why he would offer this, but I was like, okay, I'll ride with coach if you guys say it's okay. He started getting me to practice. I would become a captain that year. That season, we went to 3rd place in the city. The next season, we got 1st place in the city, undefeated season. I got recruited to play football at Whitney Young. So, what's up, Dolphin? That would lead to me get recruited to play at Princeton University. Engineering major, Princeton University. That coach didn't realize at the time, but he was the first piggyback driving member because he helped a family out who had no other option get their child to this event and completely changed my life forever. That gave me my first taste of leadership. That showed me the power of what one ordinary person can do in the life of someone else. And it really put the seed in me back then to have a helpful nature towards other people, because you never know what small little effort you make can make an impact on someone else. So today, frustrated by daily logistics, frustrated by the options, all of the schools that my children get into, we're outside the range of the school bus. I think 5 miles is the range on both of the schools. And we live in Beverly, we're about 18 miles away from one of my daughter's schools, about 12 miles away from the other school. So we never qualified for the school bus. So my wife and I, we've got to make it work. We've got to put it together because these are great schools. We live in a great neighborhood and we don't want to change that. I put the inspiration of where I was as a youth with where we are as parents today. And I was driving my oldest child to kindergarten 7 years ago. Coming up 9094, hour and 10-minute ride. The last 40 minutes of it one day, my daughter's waving out the car to her classmate who's in another car for 40 minutes. And I'm looking at the dad driving and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I'm smarter than this. Why are we both driving when we could take turns? So I pulled that driver over when I saw him at the school. I talked to some other parents. I said, hey, we got to do something about this commute. Why are we each riding with one child in the car? A lot of them were attorneys at the school, so they started talking about safety. We put a background check in. They started talking about insurance. We put an insurance package behind it. And from the South Side grit that I grew up with, coming through with an engineering degree, coming through with all of these solution architect skills that I have in corporate America, I put together a piggyback network as a platform for parents to use coast to coast, not just at the school that my children are attending right now. So to kind of walk through what we've done so far, we launched our MVP in 2021, and I love showing this slide because this process is not overnight. This is definitely not something that was just a quick snap of the finger. And I'm doing all of this while I've got a full-time job. So built out the platform. We started doing pitch competitions. We started getting into some accelerators. We had a great investor come through that backed us and said, okay, we'll give you some money to build this out. And then we had a partnership, and sorry to the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA found us first. They were great with us. They worked with us with their summer programs, with their camps, because they all could resonate with this issue. They put together all these programs. They've got all these things for the parents, but you've got to get that child from the house or from school into the facility, and they needed a safe and reliable way to do it. The buses don't work for all the families, and they're cost prohibitive in some situations. The shuttles, the paid rides, it's not conducive a lot of times with the budget, with the flexibility of the parents, but we know there's lines of cars around the corner of the parents that are able to drive, and we really just want to build that connection so these families can be of service to the other families in the programs. That's the idea. We've been to Amsterdam, we've been to Houston, we've been to Austin in different programs, taking the stage, explaining what we built out, and we get the same head nods everywhere we go. We get the same light bulbs off everywhere we go. It started as just a way to get myself up and down 9094 faster, and we're turning it into, it's currently national, we're turning into a global platform for parents because we keep running into the same pain points and the same sentiments. Our reach so far in Chicago, we're in about 120 schools, and we're about 800 members as of this morning, and they come from everywhere. We're not necessarily dense in any particular neighborhood, but we're flexible to every zip code, and we wanted to make sure that that was something that we stuck to because we don't want to just say we're available for the families that have X amount of income. We don't want to just say we're in the areas of these schools that outscore those schools. Every parent can qualify for this because we cover every zip code. And if we made it that way, I wouldn't qualify when I was in 6th grade because we didn't live in any of those hot areas that people wanted to angle their services to. So that was intentional. We've had a lot of publicity. We've been able to get the Associated Press reached out to do a national profile for us back in December. And they recorded, they came to our house, they watched us, and just watching the cameraman and the camerawoman, they're like, you do this every day, driving these kids? The sun isn't even up yet? I'm like, yeah, this is parenthood. My youngest is 3. I'm like, I'm nowhere near done. We got a lot more driving to do. But it's amazing to see that our everyday activity and joining these parents together, it's creating so much inspiration because we know parents out there want to be a support to other families. We know there's something good in the heart of so many of these people that if they knew the platform was out there to help someone out, or they could get help with someone else to ease their schedule, to ease the balance of having a child well educated versus having some type of physical activity or musical activity, that they would want to do that. So that national exposure, these P's represent the different parts of the country where that article was recycled. We reached places in Seattle, we reached Alabama, we reached Florida, we reached all these different places on their TV networks and in their magazines and on their websites. And we kept getting the feedback from everyone saying, oh, this is amazing, this is great, this works in our area, this works in rural area. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? So since December, we've been growing outside of Chicago as a result of this Associated Press article. So it's hard to see with the green right now, but each of these green dots represents families that we have on the platform. So Chicago's definitely, the center point, but we're in New York, we're in San Francisco, we're in San Antonio, we're in Florida. We've got parents all over that all can relate to, okay, this is something that can help our lives, make things a lot easier, and ease the stress on our everyday parenting. So myself and my co-founder, he was going to be here today, but he had a family emergency that popped up. We met at Princeton, both football players, both electrical engineers. Now he's raising 3 sons. I'm raising my 3 daughters and son. And just coming together with this, we should do something and start a company idea. We were trying to back and forth ideas to start something because we've all been doing engineering and consulting, and we couldn't find the time to meet because our parent duties kept getting in the way. He's coaching his son in baseball. I've got to drive my daughters to dance. I was doing this with my kids. I was volunteering. I'm an LSC chair. And finally, I was like, what if we did something around parenting? Like, this is pretty difficult, adulting and parenting at the same time. And the idea came up. It's like, what if we could just not have to parent all the time? And that kind of sparked up. We put our minds together. We started building it out. And now we've graced the stages across the world and presenting it to people, growing the platform out. We're raising investment. We're trying to do something good and use the good that's already out there to help other people be part of the platform that we're building out. So proud to be able to present this to Rotary. Thank you, Chef Alita, for the invitation. Thank you all for listening. And open for questions.
Yeah. Take any questions? That was so amazing. Yep. Okay.
Thank you. This is a really incredible, service that is really maximized. Can you talk a little bit more about the work with the YMCA? I understand, parents can sign up for the app, but how does it work when you're working with like an institution?
So yeah, great question. When we partner so far, we've partnered with schools, we've partnered with sports teams. The partnerships are strictly promotional. So we just have them speak to their parents and say, hey, if you're having trouble or if you're available, this is a solution that we've had families have success with. The YMCA was really particular about not making sure that they weren't hiring people, that they have their own process of everyone has to have CPR, everyone has to have this training and this liability. We are not putting our parents into the YMCA facilities. Everything starts on the sidewalk outside of the facility for them to do that. And we talked to their legal team for months before they were able to sign off just to be a promotional partner. Yes, sir. Sure.
If you were planning a new school in Chicago that would be a regional center, K through 12,
Sure.
where would you put it?
Location-wise, K through 12, with the current climate. Yeah.
That's a rich uniform, black and white, people from every corner and culture.
Sure. So my children, at the time, we tested them and put the top schools at the top rate. So that's why my oldest daughter, got matched 18 miles away from where we live. That same daughter next week is starting school very close to us because there's an academic center, Gwendolyn Brooks, that's ranked at the top as well. And that's a 1.3 mile trip for us. That wasn't available to us when she was going into kindergarten. The closest thing we could do was go up north. My recommendation is to find the pockets. We know the Northside Preps, we know the Paytons, we know the Whitney Youngs. Find the pockets on the map that are missing, because you have families with children in those areas that would love to not have to take that commute, get on the metro, send their children on Uber, Teen, anything like that. They'd love something that's close by. So Pullman area, Bronzeville area, Hyde Park area. You've got a lot of schools that would love to be converted. You've got a lot of schools that there's just vacancies in the neighborhood. But that planning process, as the city of Chicago, is a little more difficult. We're working with Austin, Texas, where they have a lot of clear land that's already cleared out and they're just building new. It's easier for them because they're building new subdivisions. We've already got established neighborhoods, and to try to pick the right place, I would do some digging to see where the families feel there's a gap. Sure, good question. Yes, Mark.
So I've heard that every child is 80 pounds. If it's 20 pounds a child, you have 60 pounds of equipment. If it's 60 pounds a child, you have 20 pounds of equipment. If you're going to children as young as 6 months,
Yeah.
they've got a car seat, they've got all this stuff. How do you arrange it with parents? Is it always the same parent that brings them back? So they've got that extra 30 or 40 pounds with them, or?
So each trip is one-way trip. So that if you're talking about that, and the way we do the child care of daycares, my children were going to a daycare where doors opened at 7 a.m., doors closed at 6 p.m. If you miss that 6 p.m., they start charging by the minute, and they're going to keep charging because their staff wants to leave. So we know that there are parents that can't make that deadline, but the parents that are doing the drop-offs and pickups, they know which car seat, front facing, rear facing, booster, they know which car seats go along with it. And remember, this is a long-term relationship with the parent. So in the mornings, it's going to say, hey, can you come by next Tuesday and pick up my kid? Bring the car seat, or we've got a car seat for you. You're going to plan that in advance. Some of our families, they know they're going to be in the area. They'll drop a car seat on the back porch so that the kid can get picked up the next morning. It's really set up so that they help them.
Thank you so much. So, I mean, talk about service above self. Was that like the Rotary model? Thank you so much. I want to share with you, our thank you gift is made by a local, I have to get back to, Allison's going to help me get back. It's made by a local company. Thank you, Sarah, for hooking us up with that. Recyclables. And also, hey, I think it's going to go in the car, carry a bunch of that 40 pounds of stuff that goes with all the kids. Thank you so much. Ish, that was amazing. You. Remembering the times when we were trying to manage all of our kids, when my husband didn't always step in, but he stepped in once and said, you know, daughter has to be picked up at dance at 4 and son has to be dropped off somewhere at 4. And he said, he's such a perfectionist. How will that work? I said, some will be early, some will be late. Go. We needed that. So do we have any visit? I know we have some visiting Rotarians and oh, yep. You want to step up here and tell us where you're from? Thank you. Do we have any other visiting Rotarians today? Is that's it? Okay. With the Rotarex. I guess want to tell about yourself, Mario.
Hi, so my name is Mario Celis. I'm not yet a Rotarian nor in Rotaract. I am, however, a Rotary Youth Exchange alumni. I went from 2023 to 2024 from Houston, Texas to Stuttgart, Germany, which is in Baden-Württemberg in the Southwest. And yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to come. I was in town visiting my family, and I'm really impressed. First of all, by Mr. Ismail's presentation. That was very nice, and really the business that's just stuck with me. I went to a school myself that was around 25 miles from where I live in Houston. I live outside in the suburbs, and I went to a school that was, I want to say, within the inner loop. It's pretty far, as you might know. In Houston, the commutes for most people is very, very long compared to different cities across the U.S. And that was really interesting to me. That really stuck out. So thank you very much for your amazing presentation and for all the work that you do with the community. But also thank you all. Still getting to know some of the rest of y'all. But thank you all for just all the service y'all do. It's great to be able to come here and network with other people and get to know all about the different things that are out there. So thank you.
Do we have any other guests today? Is it? Yep, we do have, I know we have a couple of guests. We have to have you come up here because we do have people on Zoom, so we're going to force you to come up to the front. And Walker, come on up. Logistics today.
A tight space. Hi, everybody. I'm Lieutenant Matthew Manley. I'm with the Salvation Army of Chicago Temple, right down the street from here, right by the United Center. I just was recently appointed to the Salvation Army Chicago Temple, where my wife and I serve as both as the director and pastors of Chicago. So the Salvation Army helped change my life when I left the military, and since then, I've dedicated my life to giving back to the Salvation Army and also to all the people that they serve. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here with you guys today, and I look forward to meeting with everybody and building relationships with you guys as well. So thank you.
Hello, thanks for having me. My name's Walker Gunning. I'm a trustee at the Union League Boys and Girls Club and a club member here, and also have 2 kids that I have to schlep around constantly. So it was really great to come here and hear this payback network. I think that could be a great solution for the Boys and Girls Club as well, which have a real problem getting kids from their schools to the actual club sites when they're not school sites. And of course, many of those school sites in particular have closed, but our brick and mortar, locations are still open and running. It's just the challenge is getting the kids there. So thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Just a reminder of some of the other things that we do. We're hearing so much about, I'm sorry, come on up. Oh, I didn't snuck in.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very honored to be here today. I am Kathleen Cison. I've been a Rotarian for 4 years. My mom is Esther Hanna. She was the original one who brought me to Rotary meetings at this club because she said, "Do you want to speak German? I know some German speakers. Come to this club." And that woke me up to it. And then I became involved with Rotary Youth Exchange. And Mario Celis is one of the very brilliant kids who learn German in addition to his Spanish. So I've asked him to come to this club to meet you all. I am an advocate for Rotary Youth Exchange. I'm the outbound coordinator in Chicago, in Houston, in District 50. I would love to come back to Chicago. And I've met Alita a couple of times. So I'm really, really glad to be here. Thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, we talked so much about Rotary around the world and love having visitors. And I just wanted to share that I've shared at other meetings that we have a sister club in Tokyo West, and we did sign an agreement to continue that relationship. And and they gave us some lovely gifts that some people were able to get at one of the meetings. But we have a few gifts. So Allison might, yeah. So if somebody still wants some of the lovely gifts that they gave us, I think there's a kimono, I promise I'll give that. Alita's like, you got one and I didn't. So that's okay. We can make that happen. See, we have one for you. Okay. So I just love hearing about everything and the whole worldwide presence that we have. We have our Rotary Means Business Fellowship also meets. The roundtable meets on Fridays. I think you guys are not meeting this Friday, perhaps. Ted, I don't know. Yeah, I think Richard wants to meet the following. So we do have some birthdays in the room. And if they're in the room, we sing. And I believe Alita's there. Chuck is there. Alicia's there. Would she just run out the door when she heard that we had to do birthdays? Okay, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarian. Happy birthday to you. I don't know if that's a deterrent to coming on your birthday, but we're singing if you're in the room, so that's the way it's going to go. Just a reminder, we'll be talking more about all the things that our club does, our foundation, and what it means to support that. Hopefully you notice that you got a letter about that, talking about that, and Jim is taking that on, and the committee's taking that on, and we'll be definitely hearing more about this year. And just a reminder, social media, we need other young people to help us continue with our social media. So now I ask everyone to stand and join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And that fifth one, will it be fun? So I expect to see some people at the Merchandise Mart Bar next Monday for some fun. And in the meantime, stay cool. Yes, yes.